Hey friends, in today's video I want to talk about the Dark Decider auto rifle from Iron Banner and what it brings to the table. I've been on a bit of an auto rifle binge to work on my tracking aim since switching sensitivities, and that experiment's been going pretty well. I definitely notice an improvement from the practice. But anyway, comparing auto rifles to other primaries, they're weak. They do not compare. A hand cannon 140 RPM has a time to kill of 0.87, and this auto rifle has a 0.75. And so if they are in cover at all for a single peek shot and then fly out of cover, you are losing. But you're also losing in the range department. And then if you want to switch your auto rifle strategy and go for a longer range auto rifle, 120s now run you. So if you want to go with Dark Decider, you have to treat it like an SMG, except SMGs exist and they do that job better. So when I say it like that, there's pretty much no reason to use an auto rifle, unless of course it's an exotic. Suros Regime has spinning up, Sweet Business suppressing fire, Quicksilver a nano rocket, Cerberus is a pocket shotgun and also gets a TTK shift randomly. The list can go on. But for a legendary auto rifle, you have to build around it. I think Abyss Defiant and Rufus's Fury, you build around two different engagement distances, but essentially it's the same idea. You give it a damage booster so you can compete and play around that cooldown. Dark Decider is a little bit different, where you're building around the Skulking Wolf origin trait, and you're trying to make the gun as consistent as possible. This is the role I use to collect footage, and Offhand Strike is funny, but it's not really good, because here's the problem. It's like 25-meter damage drop-off I get the kill with Offhand, and it takes its realistic hipfire distance from 15 meters to 22 meters. But as you can see, when I shoot the gun, it jumps all over the place. So you're really only going to notice this hipfire boost if you get suspended by an enemy and are forced to hipfire up close so that more body shots would count as headshots. You're not realistically going to peek somebody and hipfire this thing because it is abysmal. You're not going to land any shots. Not even to mention hand cannon flinch and that type of thing and returning fire back to them. So the build with Dark Decider that I think is most optimal is Certarachnid Facade to get anti-flinch, as well as Threaded Spectre to add to the radar manip. And so the idea is you're trying to get in a duel to proc Skulking Wolf and making a play with that. How you know it's activated is when you see the enhanced radar. I wouldn't trust the bottom left of the screen because when you have so many buffs going off, it gets lost and it's harder to make sense of the situation. So just look at your radar at the top to know if you have it or not. Let's take a look at D2 Foundry. Just to get a bird's eye view of this weapon. 0.75 TTK, 23.5 meters at base or whatever it is, and even if you spec into all range with Iron Reach, full bore, first of all, your stability tanks at 19, so if you're already getting flinched by hand cannons, you're going to be looking at the ceiling even more. The 34.5 meters, or whatever it is not really that bad. That is competitive. You can do a lot of work with that, but I don't recommend that. With the Certarachnid build, we're going to build into the idea of using our grapple grenade to proc while rounded, which makes its stats all of a sudden very competitive. And I could go for Iron Reach. 39 stability, still good enough. Damage drop-off, 32. Pretty decent. But I think I'm going Golden Tricorn so that I can bump it to SMG time to kill on the second kill. And I think that makes so much sense with Skulking Wolf when you look at these perk timers and whatnot. So 7 seconds, and then this one's 10 seconds. So in that 7 seconds, you can get your health back to full, maybe pick up an orb, and your second duel, you're going to catch them with their pants down. They're not going to know what hit them. You're unfortunately not going to proc Golden Tricorn ×2 like I did in a lot of these clips, but if you did, it's a 0.5 TTK, and I'm going to be real with you, it is not worth the effort of proccing Golden Tricorn 2 on this gun when you could just use a kill clip SMG and have the same thing except at like almost no effort. Anyway, this is what it could look like in the game, and that's kind of crazy. I of course always recommend a counterbalance stock, and if you could go Arrowhead and Ricochet, that makes it even better. This is what I think the ideal role is. So let me teach you some tricks about this loadout. So if I did have well-rounded, here's how I would proc it. First thing to mention is Grenade Kickstart and the Widow's Silk aspect, where if I use a half grapple, cue the Mario music, if I use a half grapple, it makes a grapple point, and look at my cooldown. With Grenade Kickstart, I'm beyond half already, and I can use my own grapple point. And in this case, I can proc Well-Rounded with no effort. And so now I'm running around with a juiced auto rifle just for spamming my grapple. Now I get into my duels, I proc Skulking Wolf, I leave a clone to radar manip, so I can be more free to peek on somebody without them catching me with a hand cannon or an SMG. Overall, I think this is one of the only ways to make this auto rifle competitive. Unfortunately, this Surturactin helmet is a way to make a lot of bad weapons competitive. So, you tell me, is it worth building into the idea of Skulking Wolf, or should I just run around with a 120 and have a better overall time? That doesn't count for Golden Tricorn? What? Huh? You chasing me or you fighting my team? Hey Cam, why do you run catapult lift? I don't know. That's so funny. Was Shinder gonna kill me? No? Oh, hell yeah. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? I bet I can hit this Missile Titan with my Wither Horde.